Hello, I'm Rebecca Zick, and I'm an animation and graphic design student at MSUM. I've always been interested in animation ever since I was a child. I remember watching Pixar movies on VHS, and before each movie they would show an animated short. I vividly remember watching Luxo Jr. a lot, and their credits, they would always show stills from the animation process. And even though I didn't understand what I was looking at, it piqued my curiosity because I didn't understand how people could make this, like how it doesn't just magically get generated by computer. There's actual people behind this, and I knew then that I wanted to be a part of it. I was self-taught, but I didn't have a good grasp on the principles and elements of art and design until I started taking classes at MSUM. The classes and the technological resources available gave me the ability to explore multiple forms of animation, graphic design, as well as web design. Last fall, I got to utilize these skills when my classmate and I developed a video game. In this video, I'll be taking you through that process. I always start by considering what I would want from a medium rather than what is trending in that medium. So for example, I enjoy video games where the primary objective is to build, expand, or explore worlds. I find that stylized games are more charming than realistic games. They just tend to stick with me more unless I'm playing like a story mode version of a realistic game. So these stylized games, for example, could be Oxenfree, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, or the Walking Dead Telltale series. My group member and I discovered that we both love Halloween, nature, and cozy games like Animal Crossing. We decided to make something that we would both love. Our end goal was to create an atmospheric, cozy game that had a simple storyline that turned Halloween character tropes on their heads. Pinterest is always my go-to app for creative inspiration, so one of the first things that I did was to create a mood board to help us define our style. I then began sketching on paper, and after getting feedback, I then make digital versions of these sketches. The hardest part was shifting my art style to the pixel art style, since I was more used to creating a semi-realistic and more detailed kind of sketchy look. I had to learn how to make clean cut lines and very, cartoony and simple drawings without losing the personality of the characters. I also mapped out levels in my sketchbook, so I was able to plan the color schemes and mechanics of the game early on. After polishing the designs, I used pixelart.com to create the characters, objects, environments, and animations in their pixel form. The next step was to build the game in Construct 3. It was a very intuitive program to learn as a beginner because it didn't involve any coding. With my sketchbook as a reference, I began building 3 levels using my pixel art drawings that I had made in the previous step. And I learned how to apply these things called behaviors, which determine how the objects in the game interact with each other. In order to set these interactions in motion, I learned how to add event sheets, which in short just allows you to tell the program what happens when a player presses certain buttons. Since game design was new to me, I inevitably experienced bugs. However, Construct 3's tutorial page, along with help from my professor, allowed me to fix these issues and gain a better knowledge of how programming works. This process of trial and error was frustrating at times, especially if the problem was easily solved and it was so obvious once you realized it, but the finished product and the satisfaction of overcoming challenges was worth it. I'm beyond proud that my classmate and I were able to create a fully functional game that fit our vision. Because of MSUM, I've been able to apply my animation and graphic design skills towards game design and many other creative mediums. This project, along with others, has given me a great portfolio and will help me gain opportunities for success in my future career.